This truly is an honor. Mike Morrison, you've always been there to help me out. Once again, you're accomplishing that. I thought the best way to explain my program is by telling you a story of an individual by the name of Jonah Eubank, my first adaptive aquatics student. He is one of the reasons this program has had so much success. This story is taken from one of my college entrance essays. He looked at me with a blank stare, but he really wasn't looking through me. It was just his way of saying hello. His name is Jonah Eubank, and he has autism. He had come to the Doris Miller YMCA in Waco for the first time for a special class. It's called Adaptive Aquatics, swim lessons for kids with autism. And it was started after I approached my boss at the YMCA, where I'm a lifeguard and a swim instructor, about the idea. Why don't we teach kids with autism water safety and how to swim? I asked him. At age 16, I wanted to start a program like this in honor of my uncle. In honor of my uncle of mine, who is autistic and severely mentally retarded, to the point of where he's unable to talk at all. I grew up listening to stories about Uncle Denny from my mother, Sandra Sanchez, his sister. She told of how the water seemed to transform him. Now, once in the water, you would not know he had any problems at all. It reminded me of my own salvation in the water. I was diagnosed with attention deficit hyperactive disorder when I was 8 years old, and despite the best of my efforts, both by my parents, to get me involved in team sports, I was unable to ever fit in. But then I tried out for the YMCA swim team, which Mike later coached, and it transformed me. First, because I was good. Sorry. I still hold several full and team records in the breaststroke. But more importantly, because I would compete individually and be a part of a team. I wanted to share the life-transforming experience with others. When I met Jonah, a short 7-year-old boy, I didn't know what to expect. The only training I had for teaching kids like him came from YouTube videos I watched on autistic kids and a year of teaching regular swim lessons. I was glad, though, for those swim lessons, because when Jonah and I entered the water, he immediately sunk to the bottom of the pool. If I had not grabbed him, well, this story would be over, but as you probably would guess, I did. I grabbed him, and we started to go over the different ways of floating on your back and stomach. After the first 45-minute lesson concluded, I went over and I talked to his parents to get their feedback. They said that Jonah never had looked at a person like he did me. They told me it was a sign of respect. I wondered, did that 45-minute lesson really have an impact on his life as much as it had impacted me? For me, the next 3 months that I would spend every Sunday afternoon teaching Jonah set me on a new path. It's a path I believe not many venture to go along. The path of special needs education. While I don't see myself as an educator, I can see myself as a coach. As captain of my high school swim team in Waco, I enjoy encouraging other swimmers who are new to the sport. But I figured that if I can train someone like Jonah in the sport that I love, I can train almost anyone. The relationship inspired me to formalize this swim program with the full support of the Y, with the help of the Heart of Texas Autism Network, a non-profit organization, a non-profit group, that has 300 affiliated families in Central Texas. The network helped me spread the word about my program's startup, and on the first day of class in March 2010, we had a dozen autistic children and young adults show up at the pool, eager to learn how to swim. Their families were with them, and they seemed equally excited, with cameras in hand and lots of chatter on the deck. Some of the parents told me that they had waited for years for someone to want to teach their children. I was honored and a bit scared to be that person. I have to admit, I was quite nervous. But once we got into the water, which I love, it all seemed to come together. Within a few weeks' time, they were giving me high fives, lots of smiles. Their families kept enrolling them each month. The program is offered in a branch of the Y that serves mostly minorities, mostly economically disadvantaged people. Many of the youth who go to the Y don't know how to swim. They sometimes watch and listen to me teaching the autistic students. They also are extremely nice to the autistic students, and that makes me happy. While I continue to be employed by the Y, I teach this program voluntarily for kids like Jonah. Recently, I was honored by a local group called the Central Texas Chapter of the Association of Fundraising Professionals. Hearing of my program, they honored me with the Youth and Philanthropy Award. It's in one of the handouts. In the Youth and Philanthropy Award for 2010. The banquet was on November 11th. My parents and swim coaches, my principal, and even my school district superintendent attended. My swim program was also featured on the local NPR station and in Waco Today, also one of the handouts. Magazine articles in August 2010, which was published by the Waco Tribune Herald. In addition, I've been awarded the Spirit of Midway Community Service Award for 2 consecutive years at my high school. And last week, to my surprise, I received in the mail a letter and certificate from President Barack Obama, for the Presidential Volunteerism Award for having served over 300 volunteer hours with this program. Now I'd like to close with a letter that sums up my experiences with these kids. Oh, excuse me, I completely missed the paragraph. The story of Jonah was just the beginning. The list now includes Travis Jackson, Jamie Carney, Joseph Bell, and the newest member, Andy Lai. Now I would like to close with a letter that sums up my experience with these kids by my current student, Andy Lai. He writes, "Dear Mr. Sanchez, thank you for giving me swim lessons. I hope to have swim lessons again with you. We are all precious. I like you." Andy Lai. To everyone here, I would just like to sum up that anyone can volunteer to help others. If you have a talent and a desire, reach out and connect with organizations, or through your school or boss, like I did, and find out how you can help. You will feel great from it. I'd now like to open it up for discussions and answer any questions you may have for me.